All right. The last one didn't work. I got a new microphone, so hopefully I'm loud and clear this time, and it's not all distorted. I'm kind of worried about this mic, but let's see how this goes. Everybody that joined in the live, thank you guys for joining in. Hopefully my volume is so much better, and that way I can speak at a normal tone, and everybody will join in. Anyone mess with Ezra Zion cigars? It's a good question. Good question. This is something I've been going back and forth with Callie about Ezra Zion. I've been having like my own personal issues with some of these brands that are like just buying secondhand cigars, and then they buy a bushel of them and then sell them at a premium, and then they like make it really fancy with the packaging, like putting Star Wars or Cookie Crisps or whatever they doing on what's the other joint, like Tony the Tiger and Sesame Street. So between Pravada and Ezra Zion, me and Pick Jimmy were kind of having shots out for that like button. Me and Pick Jimmy were kind of having the debate of like, are they the same thing? One thing that I can say about Ezra Zion is usually from me, from my experience, the flavor in the cigars have been a lot better than some of the things that have been released from Pravada. And I know that a lot of it is just like, yo, the game is like, yo, we just buying these secondhand cigars. We're buying whatever, AJ Fernandez didn't want, or, Noah Rojas didn't want, or some other Tabacalera. And then we put a cool band on it and upsell it. But I feel like Ezra Zion is doing a little bit better than that. And they're actually, kind of taking the time to, actually brand their cigars based on how their cigars taste. So I give them a lot more leeway than I would normally give like Pravada or something like that. So there are definitely some good Ezra Zions in there. Shout out to my man Steve, because he sent me some Ezra Zions that I need to smoke and really explore and get a little bit deeper into it. But saying that to say, to my knowledge, Ezra is definitely not trash. But sometimes I wonder if the marketing is more of a gimmick than the cigars, are actually really good. So if that makes sense. Callie, do you still have to have your mic turned all the way up in order to hear me, or am I coming through more clearly with this new microphone? Let me know, because I'm going to go until this bad boy goes out, if that's the case. No, it's all good. Can you hear me? Am I clearer? Because I'm trying to make sure my headphones aren't going, and my microphone is picking up all the audio. If not, this has just been the worst live ever. All right, better. That's what's up. Because one thing, I'm really enjoying this Atabey. This Atabey is, honestly, this really might be one of my favorite cigars. I don't know what they do. Look at the construction on this bad boy, man. This is one of those things where like I've never really had a bad Atabey. I haven't had one that smokes really bad. I really need to do a new show. So yeah, I answered that question, so I'm gonna answer it again. I guess you were away when that happens, but I'm gonna repeat that. So whoever rewatches this, sorry, I'm gonna kind of go through what I was saying about Ezra Zion again to, show love to my man Callie, who is always here. So Ezra Zion for me. Anybody that is in the comments, you guys give your comments on Ezra Zion as well. Ezra Zion for me is one of those brands that I kind of give pause the same way I do to a Pravada, because I feel like they're always getting their seconds, like from somebody that they're going to AJ Fernandez, or they're going to some Tabacalera, they're going to Noah Rojas or whatever, getting their seconds and buying them for cheap and then reselling those cigars instead of like actually, putting the work in to make a super quality cigar like this. And then, they got like a 50-cent cigar, and then they're selling it to you for $12 or $16 or whatever the case may be. They make these brands really flowery with Star Wars or uh, Tony the Tiger or the Muppets or whatever they're going to use to kind of build nostalgia and marketing and draw you into the cigars. And it's like, hey, this is, ice cream or this is whatever. And then you're like buying the cigars and you're just smoking whatever. Now, saying that to say, I feel like Ezra Zion like really matches their flavors with what their branding is. So I think they go a step further than what um, I thought I was getting a spider web, but I feel like they go a step further than what Pravada does. Like they're really trying to make sure their branding matters and it makes sure that it matters to their consumer. So Pick Jimmy and I were kind of going back and forth about that. Like, are they the exact same company or are they really different? The Ezra Zions that I have smoked, I've enjoyed. And the feedback that I've seen from Ezra Zion has been a lot more consistent than some of the LCA releases or some of the provider releases and things like that. So it's one of those to me that it's a brand that you should go out there and explore if you haven't had them yet. Um, I just feel like I hate being sold like with just some bullshit marketing. Like I really want this to be a quality cigar. Every time I smoke Atabey, I get an experience like this. I enjoy the cigar. I enjoy the construction of it. I enjoy the flavor profile, the consistency, the whole nine. To me, honestly, this is what Padron wants to be. And I think this is what every cigar should be striving for. You don't necessarily have to pay $30 every time, but this is what you should be striving for. You've found the tobacco leaves, you go through it, you cured it the way that you want to cure it, you roll it the way you want to roll it, and you get an excellent product every time. And it's not all about like some flowery marketing. Like you rarely ever see like Atabey, flashing. Yes, it's a flashy band. Yes, it has a really nice, name to it, but they're not selling you, purely based on some cartoon character or your nostalgia or anything like that. They're basing it they're basing it purely on how the cigar smokes. And to me that matters. It matters a lot. And you don't get too many cigars to smoke like this on a regular basis. This thing is outstanding. So that's my overall opinion on Ezra Zion. I think the marketing is brilliant, and I think it's a lot more subtle than it is with Pravada. But there's some really, really, really good cigars. But I also feel like I'm kind of being hoodwinked and bamboozled. I haven't tried, but I've seen Jimmy reviews on them, and he said good things. I'm also gonna try Atabey. You definitely got to try Atabey. It's expensive, but you got to try it. And I think you should try Ezra Zion. Shout out to my man Steve for sending me some Ezra Zions that I still got to try. All of them that I had were really good. Um, a while back, I don't even know if he still does reviews now. I haven't seen him for a while, but Hard Sin Cigars, my man Wrench used to do. Um, he used to go, excuse me, all out with Ezra Zion. That was like the majority of what he smoked. And if you get a lot of people that are not doing like a lot of the brand name cigars that are kind of smoking, like boutique brands, and they're kind of focusing on the boutique brands and whatnot, they really focus real heavy on Ezra Zion. So I feel like you can't get a reputation like that unless you're really doing the right thing. What size am I smoking, man? This is not the brew house. I don't know, man. Maybe it's like a Toro. It's like Divios or something like that. I got rid of my plastic. I don't know where my plastic is. Probably sitting on this bitch. Nope. But yeah, I think it's like Divios or whatever it is. I think it's like a 5 and some change by 54, I think, or 52. It's one of those. And shouts out to Jerome, man, because Jerome went and got me a whole bunch of these joints from Neptune, man. And so I got multiple sizes. But honestly, when it comes to Atabey, it doesn't matter at all. And this is not a cheap cigar. It's not a cheap cigar at all. but it's quality every freaking time. Like even like the main thing they do with this is like they do the undisclosed thing. Like I don't know, this might be Cuban tobacco. That's the rumor that it's Cuban tobacco. To me, I don't get that Cuban twang that everybody like is really into. But god damn it, man! Like the cereal notes, the honey, the graham cracker, it's mild and sweet, but it gives you enough of the savory that like you get butter in there. Like you get like all of those things are prominent. All those flavors that I just mentioned right there are prominent notes in this cigar, and they're always consistent. And this cigar always burns this way. Like, come on, dude. Like I'm talking to y'all, and this thing is still burning fantastically well. I'm wondering, man, if I've burnt you guys out with the lives. It's really kind of disappointing to me because like everybody's fading out. The audio isn't great, and it's Friday morning. Y'all probably pissed that you like you got to get through the rest of this week. But it's really hard for me right now to really do the shows that I want to do. So I've been sitting on my last Mysticos for about a year and a half. Probably need to smoke it soon. Hey man, you know what this show is all about. It's smoking your good cigars, right? You got it shot. Smoke your good cigars, man. Enjoy that cigar. There are gonna be more Atabays out there. It's gonna be more chances to get Atabays. And their regular production. The only real downside is that they really are an expensive cigar. But honestly, man, it's like it's you won't be frustrated for smoking that cigar. You got some extra age on it too. It's a great cigar, man. And I just pulled this one out like and just started smoking it. And then look at this, man. It's phenomenal. You're just sitting at his desk at work. Well, hey man. So is one thing, it's a good thing to really have that kind of position where you got a desk, you can hold up, man. Let me see, because Jerome got this for me. Yeah, I'm still on. Like hopefully he'll come on here, man. Anyway, I don't want to mess up this live. But like when you got a position at your job where you can actually put on a show and sit back and do your work and nobody can bother you, that's a blessing. Count that blessing that you have. I miss having that job where I could do that. When I was a butcher, man, I could just put my headphones on, put a show in the back, especially like during the day, man. I could have a tablet going, I'm watching a movie and I'm breaking down and cutting meat and doing the whole thing. And then when I had my own office and I could just sit in there, man, and just get my work done, nobody bothering me. It's even better if like, it's probably impossible now. Like nobody can really smoke inside, but imagine being like having a job where you can just sit back and smoke a cigar and just chill. I'm really tempted, like when I get back to the States, to try to open up a lounge. I don't even know if that's the best thing right now. And that might be another good topic for, smoke your best cigars right now. Like Pick Jimmy and I, DJ, have been going back and forth on whether it's a good idea to own a cigar lounge at this point in time. Is it really worth it to deal with all the taxes, to deal with the lack of people who actually go into a lounge? Like the gap between the people who are willing to go outside and get off their screens, get off their computers, get off of their video games or whatever, and stop chatting with people and actually go and sit with people. That gap is kind of wide right now. Like I feel like I'm kind of like the rare dude that's in my 40s that will go and sit in a lounge, let alone have a 20 or 30 something like come in a lounge. Somebody was talking to me in my comments the other day, and he was saying when he goes to a lounge, it's like everybody there is like in their 60s, and he's the only young buck, and the only thing they're doing is talking about their cars. And I'm determined to be able to get to a point where I can make a lounge that is worth people coming into and it's still going to be something that's going to be viable. And no matter what your age, if you're male or female, that you can come in and enjoy good cigars. But I wonder if that's a pipe dream. Like, am I really being, you know, too eager to get this going, and this is going to be a business? Like once I get back to the states, it's going to crash and burn. You know what I mean? And let's see what Shock is saying. The lounge is dope, but most lounges in my area are really just clubs that allow you to smoke cigars. I prefer those that allow you to simply have a conversation. And Shock, that's exactly what I want. I want, like, okay, I'm not gonna give all the ideas and perspective that I have, but I want it to be like we got leather chairs, and the chairs are sitting in a position where you can actually have a conversation. You got a table where you can play cards and you can play chess, and we might have a game, the NBA on. We might have, uh, a fight going, or classic movies. Y'all know how I am about movies. Y'all know I love movies and good TV shows. So it'd be dope that you could just come in and watch The Wire, or watch Sopranos, watch Made Men, watch Dexter, or just have some classic movies on, New Jack City, something like that, and everybody can just sit around, have a good conversation, and chop it up. That's my goal. Anthony, what's up? I'm enjoying this Atabay, brother. I hope you got time to have a good morning cigar. Hope your weekend is gonna get started right. Hope everything is good. B. Alexander is saying, I don't get to the lounge often. I mostly will force the dogs to walk walk with me for an hour. San Diego got some solid lounges. They will mark up extra, but that's in California, bro. They really gonna mark up out there. If you're in San Diego, I got some peoples down there, man. My homeboy isn't just retired from the Navy, is down there, man. I got to get back to San Diego. I would love to see what their lounges are like. But dude, if you get a chance, man, just instead of just walking the dogs, get the dogs a break, man. Give them 30 minutes, and then go to the lounge for a minute. It's actually worth it. Watching together is great. Movies and sports. I drive over an hour to visit the type of lounge I prefer, and a member of. I think that's prefer to be a member of. I wish I was closer so that I could go more often. And see, that's going to be the thing, man. It's just like, are you going to be able to set up a lounge in a place where, it's accessible for people? And it's a big thing when you got somebody that's willing to drive an hour and a half just to, come chill at your lounge. But, I'm watching, Sandra's lounge recently, and I feel like, it's a lot of empty space in there sometimes. But when I was in Fresno, depending on the lounges I went to, there would be days, it would be 10 to 15 people in there, and they're chilling. Everybody smoking the cigars. They're hanging out there. They're coming in for lunch breaks. They're coming in after work. That's the vibe that I want. Callie said, I think it really all depends on the area. I had a cigar party at the crib for my birthday, and it sent out about 7 to 8 of my boys to the local B&M, and they all picked up about 2 sticks each. So that's a pretty good day for me, especially if you buying some really good sticks. I can see that being really good. Getting a little foot traffic in, that could be dope. I can't watch because I'm painting, but it's good hearing you. Shouts out, Anthony. So when you say you're painting, are you painting like painting a home? Are you painting your car, or are you actually painting like a Basquiat? Do you have a canvas in your painting? I really want to know what's up with that. So if you get a chance to pause what you're doing, please let me know. I'm in the IESD. Yo, you're gonna have to break down the the acronyms for me on that one. Ain't that fair? I'm not sure if I understand that one, Callie. You got to break that one down for me. That being said, man, I'm working on a lot of ideas, and I got like this vision of what I want my lounge to be. I don't want it to be a club like y'all was saying earlier. Like that whole club atmosphere. That's not what I'm looking for either. I've said a billion times on this, just channel, that my whole thing about making this show was to make it like a lounge, so y'all could come in, chill. We talk about cigars, we talk sports, movies, whatever, whatever. Talk about life. I want my lounge to be the same thing. So I've been going back and forth trying to put this on paper and really debating, is it worth it? Is it going to be financially beneficial for me to do that? I want to do something I love, and to be able to just kick back and smoke a cigar during the day, chop it up with people, have the show being a part of that. I could record the show from there and not have it being like some of these other channels that are just trying to sell to people like, hey, come buy cigars from me. I still want to be, the vintage cigar to be the same thing it is now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get a rental painted for new tenants. Okay, I feel you on that, and that's important. So hey, chill with me while you putting in that work, man. That's some major work, and I know how it goes. And I know people will be happy to get into the new rental, man. You're doing something big, yo. That, like, I don't know when the last time we actually bought a home. We've been renting for the past maybe 20 years, and it's been beneficial for us. We move like we military people, man. I've been from North Carolina to Virginia to New York to Cali to Japan, and I feel like I'm missing something in there. So and I can't even tell you how many times I moved around while I was in Norfolk, Virginia. Like, I've lived in so many places in Norfolk, it's crazy. MG is on. Let's see what Cali was saying. Hold on. So Cali said, "My bad. I'm Inland Empire." Okay, bet. I got to learn about San Diego. People have been telling me about new places. One of my coworkers just moving back. She's PCSing out of here to go to San Diego. Her husband is in the Navy, and she told me the neighborhood, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know anything about the neighborhoods out there. Okay, so he's saying San Diego ain't that far. Okay, bet. I understand now. So MG said, mate, looks like a nice evening for a smoke. It is beautiful out here, man. It's cloudy. You can kind of see all the clouds and whatnot, but you see Zushi lit up. The air is perfect. It's a nice little breeze. The cigar has been phenomenal. So, yeah, life is good, man. I can't complain. Throwing it down with the rain here in the UK. I mean, that is the UK. That's what y'all get. Y'all get about as much rain or more than we do here in Japan during the rainy season. So, I hope you're in a good place where you're nice and dry. I hope you can smoke a good cigar with me. I don't know how that's gonna go, but shouts out to you, bruv. Still a lovely day, isn't it? Part of my bad British accent. I haven't watched what's my show, Top Boy, in a while. That's my shit. That's another thing. Like, if I did a lounge, I would put Top Boy on. Not enough people know Top Boy. With you being in the UK, what do you think about the show Top Boy? Is it like The Wire for y'all, like it is here? Like, I love The Wire. The Wire is one of my all-time favorite shows. It might be my favorite show ever. Top Boy could be on that list too. That is a phenomenal show to me. I think you would need to be able to have a website for people to buy online as well, to gain more revenue, foot traffic, and it's hit and miss with the lounge. It is, man. What I'm hoping, Cali, is that the same way that I worked out with the show, being able to create a vibe that people are interested in, because my show is not growing like, say, Pick Jimmy's or the Cigar Hound Dog. But the way you guys like come into the lives, thank you everybody for hitting that like button. The way you guys support the channel has been phenomenal. And for me, I think if I can get that kind of customer support for my lounge, everything will be good. And if I can build a rapport with all the, the people, like going to PCA and being able to get the necessary accounts, and be able to sell the cigars that I want to sell, and hopefully my reputation will be able to keep that going, then I can take that and actually make a valuable website as well too. You know what I mean? So that will be one of those things that is like, all the cogs got to kind of work together, and having the lounge would be the first thing, but then being able to make a decent website from that and get some exclusives, and get the customer service going, being able to sell the cigars online, that would be dope too. And that would definitely be great revenue. I feel like that's what Neptune does. I feel like these cigars is like that. And I would rather be on that level than to be like cigars daily. You feel me? They probably make a ton of money, but I could care less about that. I just want to make enough money to support my family and to do the work that I love. That's all that matters to me. So Callie said Top Boy is fire. The Wire is one of the best shows of all time. Absolutely. To me, it is the best show of all time. So I totally feel you on that. So your time is coming, brother. Just be patient. You may feel that you're missing out, but when your time comes, you will know. And you know what? I kind of felt that when I was a butcher, Anthony, like that. Like it felt like that was the moment. But I'm not a religious cat. I'm agnostic. But what is that saying? That that about faith without work. You know what I'm saying? Like I got faith that this could work, but for me, like on the back end, what is important to me, like that same effort that you putting in painting this place for somebody to move into, I feel like I got to put that concept into like these ideas that I have in my head to actually start this lounge and to make that vision that I have to come alive. The same way that I did with the Vintage Cigar, I had to make that vision come alive. And I honestly feel like it's like that catcher in the rye joint. Like if you build it, they will come. I think the way that I vibe with y'all, if y'all could see what was in my head, I think y'all would just be like, yo, go ahead and do this, yo, make this joint happen. Because I think it would kind of fit the same environment that I create on this channel as what I want to create in a building and get people involved in, man. I just want to be able to sit and talk to people and have chill sessions and have those therapy sessions and smoke good cigars and give people that, that place to come. And when I did the first live, man, the original point of the live was to talk about friendships and how difficult it is to make friends when you are, upwards in age. Being able to create a lounge like that where people can come in, they can have a good drink and have good conversations and really chill and just vibe, kind of like you would do at a barbershop. That would be super dope, man. He said, I was watching Stars on Mars. They put a bunch of celebrities in a simulate living on Mars. Make me wonder what a Martian tobacco would taste like. I love comments like that, I don't think I've ever thought about what Martian tobacco would taste like. But if you're using my science, like the reason that it is red because it's a lot of iron on that planet. So it will probably taste a lot like what's that volcanic joint? Like the Arcana. I just did a short on the Arcana, and you get that very metallic and mineralized taste in that. I gotta imagine that's kind of what a cigar from Mars would taste like. So you should go out and try the CAO Arcana Firewalker if you have not tried that yet. That will probably be the closest thing that you will get to that cigar. Steven, what up, man? I was just talking about you, brother. Shouts out to you for joining here, man. And let's see. Jerome is in here. What up, Jerome? Look what I got, man. I did this for you. I wanted to give you a shout out. When I did it earlier, man, I was giving you a shout out on that, but I didn't have the right audio. So I do apologize. But I wanted to show you love, man, because of this damn Atabey, which is look at this thing, man. Like you should have seen it when the ash was on it. Like it's no cigar right now that is really fucking with this Atabey. It's I'm gonna do a show where I'm really gonna go in and highlight like how dope Atabey is, man. Like people really need to get on this cigar. I know it's expensive, but god damn it, this cigar is fantastic. Let's see. How about that? How's the Atabey treat you? I just answered that. Smoking the H. Upman Connie B at the moment. I know that's treating you well too, man. Been hearing good things about that. My man said you loud and clear. Yo, I was not before, man. I was using this headset here, man, and nobody could hear me. I got 11 people, 8 likes right now. And before everybody was just kind of phasing out on me, man. So I had to shut it down and redo a whole nother live to keep y'all here, man, so we can have a really good conversation tonight. So we're going to go until this mic shuts out or until this cigar goes out, whichever one comes first. Said the Arcana, right on. I'll keep a lookout. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, like, if you don't like mineralized cigars, if you don't like that mineral taste, getting salt, not even just salt, man. It tastes like that volcanic rock. Like you got it almost tastes like a lava rock. You really gotta like that. Me and Matt from Cigar Hound Dog had a joint. We were going back and forth. Like he sent me the M81. knowing I wouldn't like that cigar, but I tried it anyway. And I know how he is about very peppery cigars and cigars that have a mineralized taste. And I knew he wasn't going to like that cigar, but I wanted to see what his reaction was going to be. Y'all should go watch that review. It is comedy, man. But you got to be prepared to that's what that cigar tastes like. I don't think it was bad. I like mineral. I like mineral water. I like salt. I like getting those flavors. And I think it was a very unique cigar, but it's not the best out of that whole group that CAO was doing, like with the Amazon, with the Mortal Coil, and it's another one in there. But yeah, so saying that to say, my man said that's that Cuban seed. I really think it is. It doesn't really taste like a Cuban, but honestly, man, this cigar is outstanding. I don't know what they put in it, but damn, this joint is banging. Said I really appreciate the recommendations I get through this channel and the community. Man, that's really what it's all about. You know, if you go into a lounge, we were talking about I'm gonna get to that. But when you go into a lounge, man, you really want to be able to chop it up with people. I was telling a story the other day about being in a lounge and just kind of meeting people, and I didn't know what I was gonna smoke. And my man said it was like, "Yo, you need to try this Aroa cigar." And I don't know if it was like the 20th anniversary. It's the Aroa that has the yellow tissue paper on it. Beautiful looking box fresh cigar. It's a wonderful cigar. And I tried that, and that's kind of how I fell in love with Aroa, CLE, and Aladino. Like, he put me onto that cigar. I remember the dude's face. I have no idea what his name was, but that was an excellent recommendation. That's what I wanted this show to be like. That's what I wanted this channel to be about. So whenever you guys are coming in, people in the comments, you know, recommending stuff like that, that's what this whole brother of the leaf thing is supposed to be about, right? Not beef and shit, just like finding great cigars, and then you're gonna find those cigars that you love. So if you guys haven't had that Aroa yet, go out there and try that Aroa. It has the yellow tissue paper on it. I think it's 20th anniversary, whatever. Somebody can fact check me or whatever to know exactly what that cigar is. But when you see it, you won't miss it. It's beautiful. It smokes really well, and it's delicious. Let's see. My man Jerome said I got some CEO BX3s headed my way. Cool. You know what? I have that cigar, and I still haven't smoked it yet. And Matt actually put me on that cigar. It's supposed to be really good, but been hearing nothing but good things. Same here. The faces that Matt makes when he don't like a cigar, man, it's like the funniest shit in the world, Callie. That shit, like, I do that shit on purpose. And when we have like the lives, you know, that's my running joke, you know, doing the, you know, the shit that he does. Like, it's funny shit. And we joke about that shit all the time. Anybody mess with Black Label, I'm still kind of getting into that, me personally. So I would love to hear what people in the comments got to say about Black Label. To me, Black Label trading and what's the other joints? Blackworks. Like Blackworks, I wasn't really feeling lately. Like, you know, I've been trying them, but I haven't really been feeling them lately. I feel like the flavor hasn't really been what it should be. But I got a new Black Label that Matt just did a review on, and I almost smoked it on the last live, but I didn't smoke it that time around. But it's supposed to be dope. It's the one, I think it's called a Madonna, if I'm correct. So I'm really kind of excited to see what that joint is going to be like. So I'd love to hear what everybody else got to say about Black Label with your experiences. Steven said, going to have to try Atabey again, the one that I had tasted like perfumey. I could kind of see that, B. I can see that, but I'm going to go into that in a second, too. Like it had been kept in a lady's purse for too long. There's definitely a floral aspect to it, but I love floral cigars. Like I love the Chinchale. I love. I just gave a dude I was talking on the last live, the one that I had to stop earlier. I gave him the RSG from Arturo Fuente because I wanted him to try something that's floral. I love the Rose of Sharon. This has a floral note, but I usually get with this one, I used to get butter. I usually get graham cracker and just the right amount of salt on that. And it's a nuttiness to the cigar. Like this cigar, like you get those honey notes in there too. like to me, all of those things really kind of stand out. But it's a very smooth cigar. There's no pepper on this. There's no like spice, like real spice in there. So you kind of get those warm, buttery notes in there, and you get those floral notes to go along with it. For me, that's fantastic. Like this is a very smooth, even cigar. It it tastes great, bro, to me. But I can understand that like everybody's palate is going to be different. You have a very sophisticated palate, but if you're picking up mainly on those floral notes, it can very much be perfumey. I was also saying like this the fragrance on this cigar is outstanding, like off the top. So it's a very fragrant cigar. I feel you on that. So it could be just a matter of choice. Jerome said Matt's faces when he gets the dog rocket and pepper ball be funny. Yo, it's hilarious to me. Y'all really don't know how much I be cooking Matt for that joint. It's funny to me, man. And he like Matt is funny just in general because he don't like just like extremes. He don't like a lot of pepper. He don't like mineral notes, and he don't like anything that's like really squeamish and scary or spicy. He just don't fuck with that shit at all. So that shit be mad funny to me. So I be setting them up all the time. Um, I haven't been impressed with anything I've tried from Black Label. I can kind of feel you on that one, Steven. Like it hasn't been anything that's been super standout. G, what up, homie? My man is in the building. What up, fam? It's one of those things. Like the same thing with Black Works to me. But I really want to give this Madonna a chance. I'm hoping this Madonna is going to be more of a standout. So we're gonna see. What Vitola is that one? Bruh, I think it's the Devios. I think y'all got fact checking me on this one. Wait, hold up. I think I found the paper. What up? I found it. And this is the Delirios. It's a 5 3/4 by 55. So I was kind of close when I was guessing earlier. But yeah, Delirios. And it's delicioso. That's what it really is. Yeah, yo, I did. Jerome, Um, I did a show a few months back, maybe that was all about like my top 10 Cuban-esque cigars. This was definitely on that list. That's a pretty damn good show to go check out if you just want to get like 10 cigars that are New World cigars that are very much so Cuban-esque. I can't remember what my number one was to be honest with you, but I know the Atabey was damn near at the top. If it was like the Atabey and the Andalusian Bull got to be closer to the top. And Illusione always has like really good Cuban-esque cigars. What's the other brand that I always mix up? Warped. Warped really has some very Cuban-esque cigars too. MG said I picked up the Cohiba Siglo. It's that 5 or 6. I'm horrible with Roman numerals, so y'all don't clown me for that shit. In Switzerland last year, I'm dry boxing for Sunday. I hope you enjoy those, brother. I'm not into Cubans, but have you had any experience with Cohiba? Clearly overpriced, but is it worth it to try? I'm gonna say it's worth it to try. I want to do a show that I've been talking about for months now. I just haven't had the time to really make an actual show. I want to go in depth about my whole idea and perspective on Cuban cigars in general. So I'm not gonna get too deep into that. But as far as Cohiba, I'm not the biggest fan of the Cohiba line, especially with the cost. For me, when it comes to Cubans, I'm very much, and you guys will hear me say this over and over again. I love Ramon Alones. I love Bolivar. I love Trinidad. I love Partagas, Siri D. Those are probably some of my, Quay Dorsey. I love the Quay Dorsey 50. That thing is a lot like this. I love that cigar. I like Olla de Nicaragua. My favorite all time is going to be the Monte Cristo number 2. Those are my lane when it comes to Cuban cigars. I think there's a lot of them that are worth trying. You're really going to have to find what works. I know people love Cahibas. That's really, give me a Trinidad over Cahiba any day. That's just me. But if I'm going for that flavor profile, I would much rather have a Trinidad than I would a Cohiba. I hope that makes sense to you. Have you tried any GTOs more specific, the Anastasia, especially the blend and others. GTOs, GTOs. I'm bad with acronyms, man. So spell that one out for me. Is that the one? Is that what? What's the ball's name? Because am I thinking the Anastasia with Caldwell? Let me know if I have that so I can correct that. I want to answer you correctly on that one. And Shock was answering you. Said that he had the Siglo a couple of years ago and thought it was really really good. So there you go. You know, you don't just trust my palate. Trust Shock. That man know what he's talking about too. It says shout out to Nick. Big shout out. So yeah, man, I'm not opposed to Cohiba at all. But when I'm doing Cubans, that's not what I really go for. He said I had a Trinidad Esmeralda, again, pretty expensive, but I'm looking forward to trying it. It is an expensive cigar. And I mean, it was expensive before Cubans, shot through the roof. But certain cigars are worth spending your money on. I feel like Trinidad is like whenever you get a chance to actually try one, I think it's worth it. But if you want to go to something that's usually more accessible, try the Quay d'Orsay. Those are outstanding. I got some UF13s and 10 anniversarios. That 10 anniversarios fire. Never smoked the Liga yet. That H99 was banging. I haven't had the UF13 yet personally, but I had the 9 and I had the T52. H99 was the best that I have had so far. T52 was outstanding. I'm not really a big fan of the 9s. Honestly, when it comes to that, I would rather go to Dumbarton's Micarita instead of actually going over to that. But I think Ligas are worth the try. And, they're different blends, so you got to try them all. He said they're in the mail. That's what's up. Foundation got some new fire coming out in the fall. Look, man, Foundation and Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust right now, the stuff that they're doing as far as like what their lineup coming out like from PCA on, they getting busy. Foundation got some heat coming. I don't know what is the someone corrected me the last time, but I got so many different things in my head right now. What is that? Matepe? Is that the Matepa? Whatever he's doing it looks dope. He got a new Charter Oak that's going to be released. It's not going to be as affordable as some of the other Charter Oaks. It's about $12 to $13 MSRP. But anything that Nick Balillo is putting out right now, and anything that Dunbarton is putting out right now, me and my man Peter from Cigar Collective was just talking about that. Like whatever they put out, we jumping in. Like you don't even ask questions. You're gonna smoke it. The only thing that Nick Malillo has put out that I'm really not messing with like that is that upsetter. Other than that, that man has been on fire. He's been on absolute fire, bro. My man said, I'm still sitting on that Lusitania. Hey, man, smoke your good cigars, man. That's what this is all about, man. What y'all sitting on these cigars for? I just couldn't bring myself to smoking it, saving it for a special. All right, yo, if you got something special, then I feel that. I ain't mad at that at all. But, yo, smoke your good cigars, man. If you wake up in the morning and you're breathing and you're still alive, that's a special occasion to me, Jack. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Uh, Somewhat new to cigars, but Dr. Oscar Rodriguez by a new cigar by Dr. Oscar Rodriguez. Not sure of the abbreviation, or the name of the brand. I'm not really sure what that one is, Anthony. By Dr. Oscar Rodriguez. If y'all know what that is, man, y'all let me know. I know it's very well known, but I love the Plasencia Almafuerte. Yo, that's one of my favorites, yo. If y'all go back, man, I just did a short on that cigar, and that thing was smoking just as beautifully as this cigar. That is a very flavorful, rich, you know, dark, creamy cigar. It's got just the right amount of spice in there. That's one of those when I'm talking about like cigars that if I want to do a show on some of them going to be in my favorites, that could very well be in there, man. I love the Salomon. I love the Six Toe. Like I love the Robusto. I love that cigar. Cali said foundation, no doubt, man. Foot on the neck. Foundation getting busy. They getting busy right now, yo. And this is the thing. Like the whole thing of like having a consistent brand like that, like when each of I need to do a topic on that too. Like these brands that are constantly putting out like great cigars. Like I feel like Rocky Patel like had a good run, but there was a period where he was just throwing, what cigars out there to see what sticks. Cavalier, I feel like everything that they're putting out is consistently good. Like there's certain brands that like when they put out a new cigar, you're like, I'm gonna smoke that just because I want to know what's going on. I even feel like with Osgener and what was the other brand that I was thinking of before I was gonna say Osgener? Uh, I just lost it. But they're putting out cigars, but I don't feel like every one of them hits. And it's like they're good, but it's just like, man, you got to think like, oh, is this one going to be good when it comes out? You don't have to worry about that with Foundation. You don't have to worry about that with Dumbarton. You don't have to worry about that with Cavalier. I feel like Eroa is like that. Like it's certain brands, LFD, like when they put out a cigar, it's going to be something serious. And I gotta respect that. I don't even feel like Fuente is that consistent compared to these guys. If that makes sense. So Jerome said they're called the Night Commanders. They ain't cheap, and they available for pre-order tobacconists of Greenwich. But it's okay. So I'll keep an eye out for those Night Commanders. Um, and my thing is, if they're expensive, as long as they live up to that price, like they really got to be consistent. They got to burn like this. They got to smoke like this. They got to be up to that level. If you're gonna give me an expensive cigar, let that thing really smoke like an expensive cigar and let it taste like an expensive cigar. That's what's really important to me. Shout out, man. We got 12 people in here. Great comments, man. Y'all make my day. Thank you for everybody that hit that like button, man. Y'all are so real, man. I appreciate it. Eli's in the building. What up, Eli? Said, what's up, everyone? Love having Fridays off. And no doubt, enjoy that Friday, brother. Smoke a good one. Enjoying the Texas Rolls by Lone Star. Herb Crew in Houston. I might have to try that. And he said he got it from Pravada. Okay, I hope that's really good, man. I don't want to get into the whole Pravada thing. He said, I can't find the Olmec Claro and Robusto or Toro around my way. Man, that's disappointing, man. I hope you get a chance to get that cigar. I don't think I have one that I could even send out right now. Um, I think all of my Olmecs are gone. Steven said, I agree. Really looking forward to the DTT and the foundation sticks on the low. I'm looking forward to that Perdomo 30th. Yo, not even on the low, Steven. Yeah, you've been around, bro. You know that lately I've been talking up Perdomo. I really want people to really get more in tune with Perdomo because they might not blow you away every time, but as far as their consistency with the construction in their cigars and how they smoke, like the 10th anniversary is crazy. That 30th anniversary gonna probably be fire too. I rock with Perdomo, man. I gotta give that man props, man. Hey yo, Nick Perdomo, if you watching this, holla at your boy. RL, salute RL. That's the Olmec. No, I do not have the Olmec. I have the Atabay, man. Shouts out to Jerome for the Atabays, man. It's smoke your good cigars, so we smoking good right now. RL said El Septimo makes good cigars. I've been hearing a lot of good things about El Septimo, but then there was a period where it kind of get mixed reviews. I personally have not had an El Septimo. I don't even know if I got one in the stash. I don't think I do, man. Honestly, I don't think I do. But it's one I want to try. I want to see what they're doing because, the people who rave about El Septimo have really been raving and talking good things about it. Shouts out to everybody that hit that like button, man. I appreciate y'all. So Shock said the RL Olmec is in the line from Foundation, same brand as the Tabernacle. Yes, indeed. And the Olmec is absolute fire. Sorry for the pause, y'all, but I really wanted to take a puff of this and get to enjoy this cigar. And look, man, I've been running my mouth, and this thing has not come close to going out. Yo, this is how cigars should smoke, bro. The combustibility of this Atabay, the burn line on this Atabay, with me waving around and talking with my hands and answering all these questions and reading these joints, and it's still not even close to going out. Still got a good smoke body. Come on, man. You don't get much better than that. Callie said, I think that one of the reasons that Foundation is so hot is Nick seems to be a true dude. Yo, he really does seem like a real down to earth cat. His interviews are great. The way that he uses his influence from reggae music and showing love to the African diaspora, um, showing love to the Caribbean cultures and things like that. Just looking at the dude, you would never expect him to show that kind of love. Hold up, man, I gotta pop my neck, yo. Ooh, could y'all hear that? But it's like he really show loves, and for somebody that's an artist and that's in the music like myself and just into the art culture, the way he represents his cigars is fantastic to me. But the most important things, like his branding seems to be very true to who he is as a person. But on top of that, the cigars smoke just as good as the branding. And that means a lot to me as a consumer. That means a lot to me as a reviewer. And when I'm talking about his cigars, that's the reason why I go so highly based on that, because the dude put his whole heart and soul and his personality. You can see that man like to twist up and listen to some good Buju Banton, or he probably listened to some like Dennis Brown or something like that, not just Bob. And he really like trying to put these ideas into his cigars, or he watching something on Egyptian culture or something like that, and then he was like, yo, I'm inspired. And that goes into his cigars. I'm a fan of that. Like I don't even think he understands how much I'm a fan that he is. I am of his. But just in general, like I really grew up on reggae music. I really grew up, on like a lot of the West Indian culture and stuff like that. So when I see that represented, it's a flag for me. It calls out to me for real, for real. Let's see. Davidoff Late Hour Churchill is an awesome smoke. I just did a show on Davidoff, and Davidoff is very huge out here in Japan. I mentioned that to you guys several times. I wasn't the biggest fan of a lot of Davidoff, but that Late Hour is fire. I'm still trying to get my hands on that limited edition. I think it's from 2022 with that double perfecto. I need to go find that, and hopefully they have it out here in Japan. I want that cigar so bad. That's a major wish list for me. But I went into detail about all, like when I did that buyer's guide about Davidoff, about the different cigars that I like. Late Hour is one of those that I had. Have you had the High Claire Signature from Foundation? I have it downstairs, Jerome. I haven't smoked that cigar yet. It's in my humidor. Everything that's in that humidor right now has to be dry boxed before I light it up. My humidor was like way too moist for whatever reason. I finally got it down and steady at about 65 RH, and I still don't feel like the cigars are ready. I pulled out a flathead 770 to give to somebody from my job today, and that thing like felt like a sponge. Those flatheads absorb a lot of moisture. Same thing with Aganorsa, especially like the Supreme Leaf. They get so moist, and it's going to take a while for some of those to dry out. And I feel like that might be the case. And that with that High Clear, I don't want to mispronounce that name again, but I can't wait to smoke that cigar. I did all this talking about this motherfucker not going out, and I finally did it. Calm as a bitch, but it's still beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get back to your comments, yo, because y'all guys are really like commenting, man. I appreciate it. So let's get it. You said there's a High Claire coming out in November. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know which one that is. Did I see a High Claire? I know they putting out a lot of stuff, so I probably missed that one. So I'm curious to see what that one is going to be about. If you're going to El Septimo, that Bomba Orange is the stick to go with. So what is it about that Bomba, yo? Is it, does it have the citrus note to it? Does it give you like some bright flavors? Is it giving you, something that represents that, kind of give you those orange flavors or something like that? I'm very curious to see what that's about. B. Alexander says, Atabay just put out 10-year age. Did they? How much is that motherfucker? I know that cigar is going to be expensive. I want to try to get one. It's greatness. I know it's going to be fire. I agree with you on that. Got pause at some behind on the live. You ain't the only one that's behind. I'm behind right now too. I'm trying to catch up with y'all. I wasn't expecting comments like this. I love it though. You said I smoked the Porticelli Salamone last night. Straight chocolate and spice. That sounds fantastic, Jerome. That's my lane. Like that chocolate and spice is probably like some of my favorites. And I talked in one of my top tens about that. And one is that Hoya de Nicaragua. Cuatro Cinco and the Cavalier Genevieve fit into that same lane, and so that sounds like a delicious cigar. MG said agree about the Winston Late Hour, lovely flavors, lovely, bro, definitely lovely. Let's see, did you read that the Bulgaria they're getting a Hoya de Monterrey? The Monterey #4 limited edition. No, I haven't read that at all. And that's something, man, like Eli, like I haven't been reading up like I should. I've been trying to work on the idea for this podcast. And I've been thinking that like I need to start reading like I was before when I was doing the news and all that. I just been trying to, I've been so busy. That's why I'm doing lives at the rate that I'm doing lives right now, because I don't have the time to do the research and the editing that I normally do for my reviews and stuff like that. I just haven't had a chance. So pretty much like all the stuff that I'm seeing has either been from PCA or Instagram or just chopping up with the new wave fellas, and that's where I'm getting the information or whatever you guys are bringing to me. So like if y'all know some new stuff that's coming out, bring it to the kid so we can talk about it. Anthony said, I dig Atabays, but I don't like Byron's, which makes Atabays. I'm confused. That's what, what's so funny about that? I had a Byron the other day, and it was one of that Selection 1885 or whatever that was. That cigar was so bland to me, bro. I don't even know. It was just, man. And I got to show love to United Cigars because they sent me a box a while ago, and it gave me a chance to try a lot of their cigars. I feel like a lot of, aside from Atabay, a lot of they're under the same brand. I think Atabay is actually a different company and I don't think they're exactly the same as Byron, but I think they're under the same umbrella, if I'm correct on that. But I felt like United with a lot of their mid-range was a lot of their best cigars. And of course, Atabay was out, the standout of all of them that I tried. What was the one that does the Bandolero? I thought the Bandolero was really good too. But that Byron, I was not feeling the Byrons at all. Jerome said, I got a box of the Davidoff Yamasas coming. I think you're going to enjoy those. That's a very, 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 very unique cigar, man. And it's really interesting. I had the Nicaragua. I love the Nicaragua and the Oscuro. But I heard them Yamasas is hitting something serious. And they are, man. It's because they're so unique, man. And I love unique cigars. Those are the ones that really stand out. Yamasa is definitely unique. The Amazon is unique. Sin Compromiso is unique. Atabay is very unique. I love cigars like that. They don't taste like anything else that's out there. Eli said, I love Foundation. Just wish they did a Jamaican Puro. That was not an infused cigar. I know, man. But I will tell you this. Who is it? Eric Espinoza. I think Eric Espinoza has some Jamaican Puros. There's one called the Reggae, and I think it was another one called the Dread or something like that, or Dreadlock or something. And I was really disappointed in those cigars, man. I was not a big fan. I don't even know anybody that talk about those cigars anymore. So Jan, shout out to you, or Yon. Sorry if I messed the name up, Michael. But I know you probably mentioned it before, but how did I end up in Japan? I'll give you the simplified answer. We're on a contract here. We're completely civilian. I was working as a butcher. My wife got a job working with the Navy, and I said like, yo, let's go for it. Let's focus on your career and doing that with because I figured it would give us a great opportunity. She had a friend that she was in a in a major like program with, and he was working here in Japan. They got along really well, and he was like, "Yo, your job just opened up here in Japan. You should try for it." We took a Steph Curry shot, pulled up from half court, made that motherfucker. We ended up in Japan. That's the simplified answer of how we got here, and hopefully, I can stay here for a long time. Anyone mess with Christoph or Blackbird? I really don't personally mess with Christoph like that, but I don't have anything against them. It's just like that brand doesn't just draw me in, so I really don't smoke them like that. Blackbird, I've tried their cigars so much, and I just can't. It's like Blackbird and Caldwell. I did those cigars that just don't agree with me. I love the branding from Blackbird. Shout out to Black Box Cigar Company. They're working with Blackbird right now. They do some great stuff. Their Cigar of the Month Club is dope, but I don't get with Blackbird, man. I'm just not a real big fan of that line. They smoke like seconds to me. Their draw's been too open. I don't really get with the flavor profiles, but their marketing and their branding is beautiful. So if you like those cigars, enjoy that. It's just not a thing for me. Yeah, Steven said that the Christophs were okay to him. With the Bomba Orange, he said, RL said, I get chocolate, caramel, full flavor. That sounds good to me. That's something that's worth trying. Eli, I just don't think that Byron is worth the price. It is definitely not worth the price, man. For me, you know what they taste like to me? They taste like the white label Davidoffs. That's what they taste like to me. And you know what the white label Davidoffs taste like? Nothing. So he said, I love the day. Right, right back vintage brand, brought back a vintage brand. Yeah, I know. And it kind of tastes like maybe that's what them old brands used to taste like, just air. But $30, man, nah, it ain't it. He said, I'll stick to Cubans at that price. Word up. And, you can go to Fuente and get some better cigars at that price. Have you had the Oscuro Davidoff? I have, but it's been a minute for that one. Um, Mainly like the most often when it comes to Davidoff has been the Nicaragua is probably my favorite. And the late hours, I've had quite a few of the late hours, and the Yamasa. That's usually what I go to when I'm out getting Davidoff. So if I gotta smoke a Davidoff, which is usually while I'm out in Japan, that's what I gotta deal with. Okay, all right. I'm glad I said the name right, man. My bad. My middle name is Keelan, man, and people mess my name up all the time. And I've just gotten to the point that for 20 years, my wife has been saying my name wrong, and I just roll with it because she told me that the way that it's actually pronounced, Keelan, is stupid, and she has not changed on that in 20 years, which is hilarious. He said he've always wondered ever since how I got across here. Yeah, since I came across you on the new wave. Yeah, man. So I've told that story quite a bit, and I don't mind telling it again. So y'all can always feel free to ask me, man. I'm an open book. But yeah, that's how I got here, man. I love Japan, and it's kind of cool to be able to connect with all of y'all, to connect with the new wave cats from Japan. Whenever I get back to the States, or if I travel everywhere else, so man, hopefully this channel will have me, so I got a bunch of friends everywhere. So we'll see how that works. He said, "Man, that air tastes good." It ain't bad. I guess it's better than just being like, but it's about the same to me. Like that, those white labels, man. I'm not really a big fan. That's just me though. They too bland for me. Do you have a favorite tobacco? I personally love Brazilian. I like Brazilian. I love Cameroon. I love Sumatran tobaccos as well. I like broadleaf a lot, and I like Mexican San Andres. Um, I think I'm really kind of digging Pennsylvania. You know what I really like that's really surprising, man? I love Corojo. I love the spice from Corojos. And because that's the only one that I can really like identify like right out. I can usually tell the broadleaf right out too. But yeah, those are really probably like my favorites, to be honest with you. Wow, 20 years. That's awesome, man. Love to hear that. Yeah, man, we've been rolling for 20 years together, man. 15, damn, it might be more than 20 years now. But um, yeah, I think this year is gonna be my 15th anniversary. So yeah, man, I got a gem. I almost messed that joint up, but hey, love is love, man. I got a soldier. When I tell you, like she's special, chick is special, man. If anybody can find them, a Tour Fuente Oro Rosado Magnum Super 60. I ain't dog, nah. I ain't seen that one, bro. With the gold, let's see, red body, foot bands. Nah, man, I gotta look for that joint. I'm gonna send you something exquisite. Let me know who up for the challenge. I bet, yo, if y'all can find that for my man, the Oro Rosado. Shouts out to my man Jerome. Hook that brother up if you got that. He said I'm on the Liga Provider 10-year anniversary stick. I think you mentioned that earlier. Somebody else mentioned that earlier, man. And, you know, Ligas are serious, man. I rock with a lot of them. Part of my pause on that, but you gotta find your favorite cigars, man. You gotta find those cigars that that really work with you, that you kind of go to consistently like that. Like right now, for me, it's probably like the Micarita line. That's probably what I'm going to the most. If it was affordable, like I could smoke Atabay every day. Um, what else have I really been digging like that? The Casa 1910s. I've really been enjoying those a lot lately. You said they sold out damn near everywhere online. Was it a small batch for those? And from what I've been told, you have to call in order to actually pick them up yourself. Puente got a lot of special lines like that. Like you got to buy them at the shop or you got to buy them specialty. Um, Try Tampa Sweethearts. That is Arturo Fuente Jr.'s website. And it's down there in Tampa, of course. They usually can kind of, sometimes you can go to their site, excuse me, when they re-up, and you might be able to find it on that site. They're usually pretty good at kind of popping up with some of the more rare or specialty Fuente joints. So if I remember correct, it's Tampa Sweethearts, man. Try that out and see if that works for you. Atabay all day, man. Yo, once again, thank you, brother. Because like really, 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 if I could do this on a regular basis, I would. Honestly, like I'm trying not to smoke that whole bag, bro. And I really want to do a show where I can really talk about it. I don't know when I'm gonna get back into that space. I'm hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can start actually doing my actual shows again, where because I got a whole list of things that I want to talk about, and I got these shows written out. I just don't have the time to edit. I don't have the time to really sit down and record because I can't record outside all the time because it's hot. It's been raining. I've been working 2 jobs. My kids got swim lessons, so I just really haven't had the time to really be able to fixate and work on a show. So y'all guys are really keeping the channel afloat, just kind of with the support y'all giving with the lives and with the questions. Like this is really keeping the channel going right now. I hope I'm not killing all of my subscribers that are waiting for top tens and they're waiting for buyers guides and all that. Like I really want to give them more of a product, but when you got to edit and really put that kind of time and effort into the show, it's really kind of hard to do. And if y'all see me stretching and doing all that, my back is killing me. Let me tell y'all something that I recently did. So I've been running out of time. I haven't been able to get to the gym like I wanted to, right? I missed leg day today. And the other day I missed my back workout. So this young cat that I work with, he 20 years old, something like that, 19 or 20 years old. Really good kid, really smart. He and I just kind of chop it up a lot. We get along really well. And so I said, yo, I got this thing that we want to do, because I work in a gym. And I was like, yo, when we get downtime today from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock, let's see who could do the most pull-ups. So we get to the end of the I was like, yo, you do pull-ups? He was like, yeah, no doubt. So I was like, bet, let's do it. So I'm challenging this young boy thinking that, he gonna be, not taking it serious or whatever. So, every hour, I go bust out like 10 to 12 pull-ups. And, I'm talking to people about cigars, and I'm talking to all these, people at work and whatever. I'm chilling. We get to the end of the day, and I was like, yo, man, how many pull-ups you do? So I'll let you go first. He was like, 230. Like, wait, well, you did what? I, I stopped at 100. I stopped like right at 9 o'clock instead of going to 9:30. And dude, long story short, that young boy smoked me with pull-ups, and I'm sore as shit. Like my back spazzing out, my lats all sore. But anyway, it was fun to like have that competition. But I wish I had gone harder now. Like he smoked me by like 100 and some pull-ups, man. Anyway, said so. RL said, "You smoke Cubans? If so, what's your go-to? You can get them in Japan. I can get Cubans at any point in time in Japan. I absolutely love Cuban cigars." And I was telling these other guys, I'll kind of go through some of my favorites again. I just mentioned that a little bit earlier. You probably just missed it. But Ramon Alones, I love Ramon Alones. I love Quay Dorsey. I love Trinidad. I love Partagas Serie D. Um, what else am I missing? Bolivar. I love Bolivars. Um, my favorite all time is going to be the Monte Cristo #2, and I like the #4. Um, did I mention Trinidad? Did I mention how much I like that? Those are expensive. Um, not Hoya de Nicaragua, Hoya de Monterrey, Epicure. I like that. Those are some of my favorites, man. But I absolutely love Cubans, and I'm gonna do a whole show about Cubans. If you go on the channel, I got 2 shows that I was talking about Cubans that is actually worth, especially the top 10, Cuban cigars. But my next thing that I want to do is kind of like demystifying Cubans, so people can kind of look at Cubans in a realistic way. Yes, they're unique. They have a unique flavor profile. They come from unique soil, but they have their issues, and some of them are worth it, some are not. So I'm gonna go into detail about that. Let's see. Anthony said your show is now, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, this is part of my show, man. And like I really feel like Smoke Your Best Cigars and the Lives are really important part of the channel and the network within itself. But at the same time, man, people come to YouTube for an actual show, and they come for the informative shows too. So I can't lack on those. I really got to be able to be responsible. And just look at Cigar Hound Dog, man. The reason why his channel blows up the way that it does is because the man is super consistent, and he is smoking some of the newest cigars that are out there. And the dude has a wonderful palate, and he's consistent. He's the new Brian Glenn, and he deserves all the accolades, and he deserves all the growth in there. And I honestly feel like if I was able to be that consistent, my channel would grow too. I just haven't been able to be that consistent. I love having the viewers like y'all that are always here, that are always talking, asking questions. The way you guys engage with the comments, and just chopping it up behind the scenes and supporting the channel. I tell y'all, it means everything. So I really wouldn't change the subscribers that I have for the world right now. Y'all are everything, honestly. But it's one of those things that for me, having the channel, I have to give you guys content, and that's up to me to really do my best to give y'all content. He said you better go to one of them spots and walk on your back. Yo, it's some really good masseuses out here, and I get my wife to walk on my back on some George Jefferson shit on a regular basis. She is laid out right now, and she got some schoolwork to do, so I know she ain't gonna do it right now. If I ask that lady to walk on my back right now, she might stomp me out on some shit like Menace to Society or Don't Drink Your Juice in the Hood, and we don't want that. Said, bro, them YouTube shorts been running up the algorithm. Your views gonna go up. Yeah, I'm going hard with the subs right now and the YouTube shorts. I got a really funny one that I want to do, and I'm also trying to just be quick and be informative. So I'm trying to take a page out of Cigar Hound Dog and DJ's book with the shorts. So I got more to come. So keep supporting those, share them, and hit the like button on them joints too, because that is really important, because that algorithm is serious right now for shorts, man. That's what the content is all about. YouTube is basically like, yo, we got to compete with Instagram, we got to compete with TikTok, so y'all better start doing these shorts or your page is going to disappear. That's pretty much what's happening. So let me see what Steven is saying. And Jerome just looked at that Tampa Sweetheart site, and they got some of the Magnums in a sampler. See, yo, I'm here for the people. I'm here for the people. uh, let's see. I'm just a great little handmade cigar. If you short on time, it's the Davidoff Primeros. Aren't they like really small though? Not like just short. Aren't they like really skinny? I don't like them really skinny cigars, man. I think them joints is a little too small for me. And but shouts out to anybody that like those. So don't let me deter y'all from that. My thing is like I don't really go too much smaller than a Lancero, and it's very rare that I smoke Lanceros. Let me pop my neck again. But um, but I do like a short cigar from time to time. But generally, if I smoke a short cigar, it usually has a decent ring gauge on it. I know y'all hear me talk about um, the sharks all the time and how much I love that Batola. But if it's not a shark or if it's not a unicorn, I'm like my smaller ring gauges would be like Lonsdale or Corona. I fucking love those. But y'all hear me say that shit all the time. Let's see. Does your wife smoke? Hell no, she does not smoke, and she does not like that I smoke. She don't like give me a hard time. She supports the channel and all that, but she does not. You should make some shorts to pull in the ladies and get like. I wonder how I would do that, man. Or that's a really good idea. And oh, man, what you want me to do? Like smoking a tank top or some shit though? Like, like it ain't like I'm a pretty boy. So I don't know. Like that's something I got to figure out. If you got some suggestions, let me know. But hey, we ain't wilding out. He said, yeah, one of my shorts hit 1K views, and I was surprised. Like, here's the thing, man. Like, if you're making a good short, oftentimes they will do well, and sometimes they might like sputter and stop at like 200, 300, and we can't figure out why. And then you might make one that you feel like was like banging, and it will only get like 240. And then you make one that you feel like is decent, and then that joint take off and give you like 1,000 or 2,000. That one that I did, that I was like joking about the lighters and all that kind of stuff, that joint got like it's getting close to 6K. I don't know why that joint took off the way that it did. I thought it was a good short, but I didn't expect it to take off like that. So major kudos for you to get that 1,000, man. It's not an easy thing. And I was talking to the New Wave fellas about that. Shouts out to everybody that hit that like button too, man. Thank y'all. But I was talking to the New Wave fellas about that, and I feel like I think the algorithm almost tries to give you these highs and lows, like it gives you a dopamine hit, and then it kind of takes your pride down a little bit, and then it gives you another dopamine hit, and that's a way that just kind of keeps you going up and down. Like, oh, I gotta try. I got 1,000 this time, so let me try to see if I can get 2,000. And they do that to keep you making shorts. So this algorithm things is funny, man. Like I can't really tell when they're like really like what's really gonna take off and what's not, man. It's an interesting thing, but I really believe that they keep that dopamine rolling to keep you making them. He says, so is it just me or does anyone else here find Lanceros hard to smoke? I'm looking for some confirmation bias. Here's the thing, man. You're not the only one that feels that way. A lot of people feel that way. And some of them like can be really tight on the draw. Some of them can be really bold. But then again, like my favorite Lancero that I had consistently that was really good was the Queen Pearl from Aventura. Like that thing was money. That thing is so goddamn good. I rant and rave about it all the time. And Sanj Patel will tell you that his Lanceros are the best that are on the market. I haven't had it yet. He's supposed to be sending me some. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get those. I don't know. I feel like he kind of played me to the left a little bit at the same time, but I don't want to say that until I go a few weeks and see if it shows up in the mail or not. Because I also haven't had a chance to try the RS88 yet that he's been bragging about, and then all of the new wave fellas are going so hard on that. But I don't know, man. I do want to try that in Lancero and see how that works out. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. They be hella tight with it in the draw. Yeah, no, that's a common. What is the term that I'm looking for here? Not discrepancy, but it's a common complaint. Sorry, I lost the word for that, but it's a common complaint about Lanceros that a lot of people are just completely anti. I've had some good experiences with Lanceros. I've had some really bad experiences. I think the one that was the L40 that is part of the Liga Privada. I had a really bad experience with that one. So it is what it is. Let's see, Cali Cal. This is the only social media I have. I stopped using it for years. I only make a short when some that's been. I don't know if that was a little bit off, but I kind of understand what you're saying. Like, and YouTube is kind of like my main focus too. I do kind of get busy on Instagram. If y'all ain't following on Instagram, it's the Vintage Cigar. Um, but I throw a lot of my reels up there too. I it's one of those that like it's gonna be hard to monetize up there, but you almost have to have Instagram when you're kind of in this sphere. But yeah, man, it's been kind of crazy with the whole social media thing, especially with TikTok and trying to get these shorts running. It's a complicated thing, man. Lee said, "What up? Finally caught a live stream. Love from England. Shouts out, man. We had the UK in here quite a bit, man. A lot of blokes up in here right now, man. Got mad love for y'all, man. Thank y'all for watching. And hopefully I did this at a good time where you can kind of come in and enjoy the vibes, man. So it's all good. Shouts out to you, Shot, bro. It ain't a thing, man. You've been rocking from day one, man. Thank you for enjoying the live, man. I appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Hello. He says his cigars are the best in the world. They're okay. I really like Sandra cigars, man, especially for the price range. This is a $30 cigar that I'm absolutely enjoying right now. But if I can get a $7 cigar that smokes like a $10 or $12 cigar, I'm here for it, man. Sandra's a very interesting dude. I will say that much. He's a very interesting dude, and I do dig his cigars. I got to try to, RS88 before I go crazy. But that man, like you said, he would tell you that his Lancero is the best in the world. But one thing Sandra's gonna do is talk. That brother gonna talk a lot. Said the Oliva Serie V in Lancero is good in my opinion. Eli, you're not the only one that says that, and I have that downstairs that I need to try it. I just haven't lit it up yet. And part of that, man, is just because I just don't get super hype for Lanceros, but I do want to try them a bit more. I need to do that a little bit more so I can just make a show just about Lanceros in general. The UK got y'all going crazy with the customs, huh? I don't know if I told y'all the story about I think I talked about it on one of the lives, but the custom issue that I had here in Japan, the first Cuban cigars, like my whole thing is like, yo, I'm in Japan, there's no embargo. I get to order Cubans, and I think it was like Monte Fortuna or whatever, and I ordered some Olla de Nicaraguas. And why do I always say that? I love Hoya de Nicaragua. That's why I always say that. But I ordered some Hoya de Monterrey Epicure number ones. I smoked that cigar. I fell in love with it when I first smoked it. So I was like, when I'm here, I can get them shipped to me. So what I did was, instead of sending them to my US box, I sent them directly to my home, not knowing that the customs for Japanese cigars is a major thing. Like they have like very strict rules on shipping tobacco and Cuban products and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't come to my house. They sent me a mail. So I had to drive from where I live in Zushi to Yokohama. And this is before I understood how to take the trains and how to travel and all that kind of stuff. And they kept my cigars, and I had to pay almost $500 between travel, between the taxes, and releasing my cigars. Like I had to pay almost $500 plus what I paid for the cigars to get them joints out. I paid way too much for those Cubans. Like I don't even want to think about how much money I spent on that and how much time I spent. Like I had to drive all the way there. I had to wait for them to go through and figure out exactly what kind of cigars they were, how much they were going to price them, how much they were going to tax them for. And then when I finally got through all of that stuff, they wouldn't just give me the cigars and release them. They sent them to back to my town, so I had to come back here, go to the post office, go through the language barrier, show them all of my ID and all of this other kind of stuff for them to release the cigars. And then I had to pay for them again to get them released. It was super expensive. It was super tedious. And it was just like the biggest learning curve, man. Like y'all don't want to know. Like I wasn't even working then. Like I had just got to Japan, and I had barely gotten settled here. I didn't know how to use the trains. I barely knew how to drive. Like it was a brutal experience, bro. It was brutal. And like having them like with the language barrier, like they opened this huge ass book with all of these Cuban cigars in there, and they would not release them until they knew exactly which type of cigar I had. I had to point out that it was the Epicure #1, how many I had. And think about it. I'm doing this through mail from Monte Fortuna, and it was my first time going through Monte Fortuna. I'm really just kind of getting familiar with Cuban cigars and all. Like, dude, it was such a mess, man. Yeah, that was a painful ass situation that I went through. Basically, for like 10 Monte Fortuna Epicure #1s, I spent $500 and a whole bunch of gas. That shit was not worth it, man. He said, blame it on the tobacco tax Illuminati. Yo, on top of that, with this strict ass Japanese laws and taxes, dude, it was a mess, bro. It was an absolute mess. He said, yeah, boxes are stopped regularly. Get them sent without boxes 90% of the time straight to your door. Yeah, but see, like I couldn't do that at the time, and I didn't even know anything about the whole process, man. It was crazy. Yeah, man, I heard about them, getting caught selling fake Cubans. I don't think these was fake, with the boxes that it came in and all that kind of stuff. If they like really like if they were selling fake, Hoya de Monterrey's at that point, it's like, yo, with all that you went through to make, the boxes and the labels and the stickers and all that kind of stuff, like, yo, you might as well just sell real cigars, man. Like going through that much trouble. But who knows, man. The bright side is I don't have to deal with that bullshit no more. Thanks everybody for hitting that like button, man. I appreciate y'all. But I don't have to deal with that shit no more because I can really just go to whatever lounge or whatever tobacco shop here in Japan